Chapter 28, Alexa Brenner. Survivors, come. Safety, Army. Are any survivors to safety? This is the Army. Martial law has been declared. If any survivors are remaining, come outside and we will bring you to safety. This is the Army. Martial law has been declared. If any survivors are remaining, come outside and we will bring you to safety. These few sentences are repeated over and over. They slowly get louder and louder, both as I wake up more and the closer they get. Jumping out of bed and to the window, I immediately spot several tanks rolling down the street. There are a couple of people already on the lawn from this house. I take Raylene, who's sitting up in bed looking at me, by the hand and lead her downstairs. Miles joins us on the stairs. James looks distraught by the tanks, but goes out with the rest of us anyway. He pushes his way to the front of the group. The tank stops, and a man comes out of the top. A loud recording goes silent. The man jumps out the back of one of the trucks and comes over to us. I am First Lieutenant Harold, and you will file yourselves into the truck 3 tanks behind. We will be escorting you to the high school where you will be safe from further harm. Are there any more people in the house? Yes, there are a few injured in the basement, one of the triplet girls says quickly. Harold motions to some of the others with him. They start jumping out of the truck and go towards the house. Continue to the truck. We will retrieve your injured. James looks helpless as he watches people go into the house. And what if we refuse? We have the right to use force, if necessary, lethal force. Please continue to the truck now. The look Harold gives James says not to cause any trouble. It takes Nia taking the first few steps to the truck for the rest of us to budge. Troops run past us and into the house, and others place themselves around our group. They are escorted to the back of the truck and into the bed. There are benches against 3 of the sides for us to sit on. From our small number, there is plenty of room when we all sit, even with the 3 soldiers standing guard. I make sure to keep Raylene between myself and Miles the whole time. Out of everyone here, I know he would keep Raylene safe if anything happens. I take count of who is here. Raylene, Miles, James, Daniel, the triplets, Amy, Taylor, and a boy. I don't remember his name. I quickly deduce another group must have left in the night as planned, and Ashlyn must have led it. In the fuss of things, I had already forgotten Crystal. Surely she would have followed us all outside, but yet I didn't see her. I'll wait to mention this to anyone until Raylene is out of earshot. I don't want her to throw any sort of fit right now. The loudspeaker message starts up again as soon as we start moving. 2 tanks stay with the house while the rest of us move on. Our group is split further once we reach an intersection out of the residential area. Our truck is escorted by 1 tank to the west and the rest go east. Nothing is recognizable for the first time. I start wondering where James lived. This is how I decide I will pass my time. Obviously, we are not on the east side of town, as I know it like the back of my hand. But I don't think we are too far away from there either, or else why would Daniel have been so far away from home? I can believe that he skipped school to go somewhere nearby. This narrows the field down quite a bit. I see a sign stating the West End's Mall is northwest of here. We must be on the southwest side of Edmonton. I'll have to ask Daniel how he ended up in the strip mall. I don't see a reason for him to leave Leduc to go to the strip mall, especially with Amy and Matt. We drive past a lot of wreckage and carnage. However, it seems tame from what I've witnessed the night Kelly took me to the airport. There is less live action. There are plenty of bodies dead and dismembered, rubble from buildings and crumbled, unrecognizable objects, glass shattered everywhere, ash, smoke, and flames in variable places. I know we are at our destination when we start passing increasing amounts of militants and military vehicles. We slow to a crawl while the barrier is pulled out of the way. The tank starts up just to stop again once inside the barrier. The army men in the back hop out and pull the door to the truck bed down. I jump down first and turn around for Raylene, but Miles already has her. He keeps her in his arms while we are ushered in a line through the door of the bi-level school. Right inside is another group waiting in line for some sort of processing. We are instructed to get behind them. They have running electricity. It's a relief from the last few days. Maybe they have generators somewhere. Maybe they even have running water. I can hope at least. They are patting everyone down, then asking a few questions, giving them a small cloth-wrapped item, and give instructions to where they need to go after that. Something that becomes quickly obvious is the way that they are separating people. Supernaturals are going upstairs and humans are going straight down the hall. I keep my eye on Miles, frightened that he might have to go upstairs along with the rest of the supernaturals in my group, which I remember would also include Raylene. The closer the officials get, the faster my heart rate rises. Something must have alerted Miles to this. As he turns around, both he and Raylene take me into their arms. This act, and probably a little help from Miles's power, helps calm me down. It doesn't last long because we are asked by an official to continue forward. Soon enough, they are finished with the first group and have started with ours. James goes first and sets precedence for the rest of the group. He says he's human and has no powers. The space clears up for the two officials on the either side. After the triplets, and Amy gets through. Name, the one on the left asks me. Alexa Brenner, I say my name. I think that the official said something else to me, but I couldn't care less. Names, paying attention to the official's words behind me, I wait for their answer. I look back to Raylene. Miles McMillan and Raylene Brenner. Miles answers for both of them. The officials look at each other. Miss, are you related? The one questioning me asks. Yes, I say quietly. Yes, just a bit louder. This time, I look at him. Please see that, official. We like to process families together so you can be placed in the same room. He looks away. Next. I don't want to take any chance that he might change his mind, so I quickly place myself beside Miles. Alexa Brenner, was it? I nod to him. What are you? Human, I tell him. He writes something down on his board, then talks to Raylene. And you? What are you, miss? I'm a girl, Raylene says as a matter of fact. A couple of us have a quick chuckle at this. I stop when the officer looks at us with a serious face. Turning to Raylene, I ask her the question again. Sweetheart, the man is asking if you're human or a demon. What's a demon? She looks at me. Raylene's answer shocks me. After all of this, I just assumed she knew. Well, Miles steps in. Raylene, do you remember when we were at the airport and there was a monster that scared you? Yeah, he went, grrr. She scrunches up her face, snarls her lips, and throws her hands up forward in a clawing motion. I catch what Miles is trying to do, so I try to word things in a way that will get us the right answer out of her. He was a demon, so the man wants to know if you are one of those or if you're human like me and Miles. Raylene looks at the man and tells him, I'm a human. The man seems lost in his own world for a moment. While he looks at Raylene, he switches the conversation back to Miles and me. Do you have, or any family member from your knowledge, have any special abilities or powers? No, Miles answers before I get a chance to say anything. Do you or any member of your family have any health issues we should know about? The officer asks. No, Miles says. The officer looks at me. Are you currently pregnant or could be pregnant? No, I answer him. Do you have any weapons in your possession? He asks. No, Miles and I answer together. I want to slap myself. That came a bit too fast for my liking. Please step over here, raise your arms, and spread your legs. I follow his instructions first. A woman officer gives me a quick pat down. When it's Miles's turn, he passes Raylene to me. They seem satisfied enough that they don't pat Raylene down. Miles is handed 3 packs, 2 for us and 1 for Raylene, a piece of paper, and then we are advised to follow the hallway and go to room 146. I walk away, almost forgetting Miles, as relief and joy block out my senses. We walk as directed straight down the hall, around the corner, and down another hall. The number on the doors continues going up and up until we finally reach 146. There are 2 more officers in front of the room. One door is side by side with this one, room 147. Papers, please, one of them asks. Miles hands him the paper he received. The officer shows the other one the paper. He nods to the other one and opens the door. We are allowed through into this room. The door is closed behind us. If I assume correctly, the door should be set to lock automatically from the inside, as are most school doors set this way. What color are you? A blonde-haired man asks. He jumps off some piled desks in a corner of the room. Excuse me? Miles asks. Your color. The pouch they gave you contains a scarf for you. The man holds up his wrist with a yellow scarf. What color are you? Miles opens up the first pouch, the pouch assigned to Raylene. He pushes around a couple of other items before he finally pulls out a white scarf. That would be for the kid, right? White usually means purity and innocence. The color they assign to people, usually kids, which pose 0 threat to them and everyone else here. He must have seen the puzzled look on at least one of our faces. Do I need to explain everything? Yes, of course I do. You just arrived. You're disorientated from being sorted, and I suppose they haven't bothered to explain anything. I shake my head in an automatic response to his question. He lets out a sigh. They sorted you depending on your race, mannerisms, and their interactions with you. You received a pack with some instructions, a couple of other items, and a scarf. The scarf is one of 8 colors or camouflage. Each color has a meaning. They say it's random, but nothing is ever random here. Everything has a purpose. Camouflage is the only one that they give a name to, honorary army members. Normal people can be upgraded. In exchange, you get special treatment, extra supplies for you and your family, if you have any left. He doesn't skip a beat during his sentences and spouts it off in a spiel he had practiced stating. What color are you? The man sizes me up. His gaze creeps me up and down. Miles opens the last 2 packs. Blue. We're both blue. Really? Blue matches your sweetheart there, but not you. I definitely would have made you an orange or black. He turns to go back to the spot in the corner. What would those mean? The words blurt out of my mouth as I think it. He turns back to face us. Everything and nothing. Who knows? Figure it out yourself. Colors have different meanings to them. You just have to figure out how it fits in here. He turns quickly. The interaction was confusing. He seemed like he was going to be the welcome wagon, but quickly lost interest. He walks past James, shoving him slightly with his shoulder, and goes back into the corner. James already has his orange scarf on his wrist. The orange is usually a cautionary color. James was our leader, which I could see them thinking is potentially dangerous to them. If he were to disagree with something and can get enough people to follow him, easily it could threaten their operation here. That could be what orange means. I start keeping a mental list in my head. Camouflage equals army worker. White equals innocent, childlike, non-threat. Orange equals leader, potential threat, or danger. Blue, me and Miles. The rest of the room is filled with people that came from James's place, 2 strangers, and the guy we were speaking with. I'm Carrie, this is Justin, and you've already met Tony. We're supposed to explain things, not scare you to pieces and spout conspiracy theories. If you all gather in front of us, we have a couple of things to explain. They wait a moment. Only a couple moves, but everyone is happy to stay right where they are. Tony stays in the corner of the room while Carrie starts explaining. As Tony was so kind to point out, we get scarves acting like wristband admissions. It tells everyone that a guard processed you. You belong here. It has nothing to do with them sorting you by personality. That's just absurd. They just hand out bags and people get them at random. The only scarf that does mean anything is the camouflage scarf. The only scarf that does mean anything is the camouflage scarf for the army members, and you can only receive one if you are chosen to join the army. This is a primary sorting room. All new tenants get placed in one of these rooms so that the proper assignments can be made in the rooms for your stay here. In each room, you will be assigned an area. Don't go into or take anything from anyone else's area or you can be punished. Keep your space clean and organized. Carrie takes a breath while Justin continues the explanation. If you will, all open your packs now. You will find a folded paper. Take it out, please. There are 2 sheets. One is a map and the other is a schedule. You will get to know these very well. You will be living your immediate future by these 2 pieces of paper, one to help you navigate the halls and the second to help you to be a contributing citizen here. You need to follow your schedule. It will help you adapt to living here. If you have any special skills, we ask that you inform one of the officials during your counseling time. This can mean anything that could be of value. Hand sewing, cooking, medicine, first aid, childcare. I suggest that you use the next 10 minutes to start studying your maps and schedules. It will come in handy. The 3 of them walk to the door. They knock twice quickly and 2 slower knocks before the door opens and they all leave. The door is promptly shut behind them. I look to the others who either have a confused or complacent look on their faces. Others are looking to see how they need to react, unsure of the information they've heard. I don't know how I should feel about this yet. The security of the place is a nice break over the risk at James's place. However, the mix of school, military, and segregation don't mix well with me. Too much control has never turned out well for any involved in the past. I start to look over my schedule when a couple of officials come into the room. They advise us they will be escorting us to our first activity. 4 people escort us, armed and I assumed loaded, to the first aid room. Taylor is being checked out by someone when we get there, sitting on a makeshift operations table. Her reactions seem to be getting tested. She looks a lot better than when I saw her last. Her one eye is covered. A couple of officials see to us, asking 100 questions, checking blood pressure, reaction time, and listening to our heart rates. As it does in a doctor's office, the time slows to a crawl, and we can't get out of there fast enough. Before long, a few of our group are handed papers with instructions to give them to someone in the cafeteria. When we leave, Taylor is added to our group. She tags along at the end, between two officers at the back. The two officers in front lead us to the cafeteria. We line up behind some others. Looking over the glass, I see a flicker of a fire. Though there seems to be enough electricity for a few lights here and there, it doesn't seem like there's enough for the extra things like the grill. They have one large pot brewing over the flame. The line moves fast as they ladle soups into cups and bowls. Those who hand over their sheets of paper from the doctors are handed pills, vitamins, and Those who hand over their sheets of paper from the doctors are handed pills, vitamins by the look of the bottles, with their soup. I get my soup in a cup and follow where Raylene and Miles left to a table at the edge of the room. We get no utensils, so everyone is sipping the soup straight out of their cup. The taste is more palatable than I thought it would be. Within the one pot, they must have placed many different types of canned soup together, but they kept similar tasting soups together at least. We have just enough time to gulp everything down before they are already telling us that we have 5 minutes to finish up, wash our dishes, and line up to go to the gymnasium. They have 2 tubs of water set out to wash our dishes in. One is full of filth of the remnants of our food, and the other is for the second cleaning. Though it is not as bad, it's still quite dirty. My stomach turns at the thought that our dishes are easily plagued with little particles of days-old food. I wash Raylene's dish for her as she cannot reach the tubs from her height. We are rounded up and led to the gymnasium. Another group is filing out of the gym doors, and they are escorted by officials too. By the look of their stained scarves, they've been here for a while. I have a feeling that no matter the amount of time we spend here, our escorts will always be with us. Inside the gym, we are given basic directions of what we can participate in for each station. The gym must have been glorious for the teens who attended the school. There's a weight and machine mezzanine on one side. All the different types of sports equipment possible are being used by all the people in the room. Each station is for a different sport. Blue mats are set out in the one corner of the mezzanine. James leads Miles upstairs to the weights. Not wanting my sense of security to leave me, I follow them up there. We go straight for the mats. The rest of our group has the same idea as they follow us up here. Soon as James starts settling on the mat, 6 officials come running up the stairs. One meets them at the top. They come over to us. There are too many people at this station. We must ask a maximum of 4 of you to remain here, and the rest of you move on to other stations. His words and the readiness of the others warn of what may happen if we don't comply. Slowly, a couple of people disperse. James puts a hand on Taylor to ensure she stays there. As Miles does not... James puts a hand on Taylor to ensure she stays here. As Miles does not budge from his spot, I stay as well. Raylene, by default, is to stay as well. The rest of the group seem to understand the importance that they leave. Two of their officials heard some people downstairs. The one that was up here originally finds his spot against the entrance to the stairs once more. The others remain here staring at us. We said 4 people maximum, one of the officers states. James speaks for us. There's enough room for 5 of us. Surely it should not be a problem for 1 extra person to be here. Please, we mean no harm. She just came from the doctors and is still healing. She should not exert herself lest she injures herself further. The child must stay with her parents, and I fear she's too young to play the sports downstairs with the other people. And I have a bad back. If I do much more than stretching, I'm afraid I would be heading to the infirmary myself. Surely you can find that we're not acting out of rebellious nature, but we are just not suitable to do much more than a couple of stations you have set out, and must go at our own pace. He tries to reason with them. The one officer mulls it over in his head, then gives the nod to the others to allow it. He seems almost reluctant to let us win this one, but he leaves us as well. As the last to go down the stairs, he has a bit of a discussion with the official posted up here. Looking over to us, I know he's telling the man to watch us. James notices this as well. He speaks a level just above a whisper. Seems as though we've upset them. We need to lay low going forward, Miles says as he's staring straight at James. James laughs loudly. What Miles said didn't seem funny to me. I suppose so. We wouldn't want them to separate us. James turns his attention to Raylene. My dear, do you know how to play Ring Around the Rosie? Raylene smiles largely and nods her head exaggeratedly. How about you show me, as I've forgotten how to play it? Okay, Raylene spins around in a circle by herself. Ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. On the last word, she falls to the ground. After a second, she sits up and looks for approval from James. That was lovely, but as far as I had remembered, the game you were supposed to play with a bunch of people. She tilts her head slightly to the side and scrunches her face in confusion. I realize she's not played much with other people her age, and it's not like any of the adults around her have played such things with her. Something so simple as Ring Around the Rosie she's had to adapt to play by herself and completely forgotten the game is supposed to be a group activity. Like a ton of bricks, James's distraction for the guards hits me with guilt. Miles probably came to the same realization moments before I did. He's already on his way to Raylene to show her the proper way to play the game. I join them after they play one round, helping Raylene up from the ground. I don't release her hand and wait for Miles to take my other one. We all play, singing the words and spinning in a circle, Raylene giggling the whole time. We play more and more rounds of the game. I get increasingly dizzy until I fall on the ground and my world spins. When I don't get up, Raylene comes over to inspect what happened. Miles asks me, "You alright?" I will be once my world stops spinning, I say. For a moment I get mad at everyone for my embarrassment at them all laughing at me, but I can't help but smile. It has been a long time since any of us has been able to more or less let loose and feel some joy without any reserve. It's been so long that any of us has been able to feel the pure happiness that playing with a child can bring. It seems to be helping Raylene as well. Before any of this happened, it had been so long since I had even played with Raylene like this. Raylene comes over to stand near me. My head has stopped spinning, so I decide to continue with the childishness. Pulling Raylene off her feet and gently tackling her to the ground, I start tickling the little girl. She starts shrieking and laughing, as does everyone else. Miles pulls me off Raylene and puts me down right next to her. Get her! Being so little, she doesn't understand exactly how to tickle, but I still laugh at her attempts. The game turns into a sort of tag with the occasional attempt at tickling again. Miles and Raylene have everlasting energy. Soon I fall on the mats exhausted, now an easy target for the two to head towards me. I put out my arms and legs up in defense. Wait, pause, stop, time out, I'm exhausted. Miles starts up a game of tag with Raylene again. The guard is plenty distracted and off his guard with us by now. James calls me over. He whispers, "Keep up the family facade with James. They'll keep you together because of it. They'll likely separate all of us. Everyone needs to find out everything they can and find a way to pass along information. Something doesn't seem right about this place. I don't think they're real military. If it's as I fear, we need to escape as soon as possible." This place doesn't seem that bad. Do you think you might be overthinking this? Taylor puts in her thoughts about the place. She's trusting of the people here already. James frowns. I'd rather err on the side of caution. From my experience, everything is rarely so black and white, especially when humans are involved in excessive control. A whistle blows. I get up and go to the railing. Please get in line. It's time for the next thing on your schedule. I don't see the person talking, but I assume that it's one of the officers. I follow everyone, collecting Raylene's hand in my own. I try to make more of an attempt at noticing everything that happens around me. However, nothing jumps out at me. Everything is so ordinary, as far as ordinary can be in this situation. The officers don't say anything to each other or us. People in the halls don't talk to each other either. The places that we have been are for our basic needs. Health, food, exercise, it all seems good. The next room we are brought to is filled with mats from the gym. The person inside tells us to come in, sit down in a large circle. The girl has a camouflage scarf around her wrist. Welcome to counseling. My name is Kate. You are new here, so how about we all get to know each other a little more? We'll go around the circle and introduce ourselves. Tell us a little about yourself. Whatever you feel comfortable sharing, and after we'll play a little game. I'll start everything off. I was born and raised in Edmonton, went to university and attained a diploma in psychology, and worked at my own firm counseling people for 23 years. I was at the school the day the demons attacked, giving a speech to the psychology class here. Luckily, the military showed up soon after and saved us all. They set up base here, and I've been helping people cope with their experiences. She looks at the person to her left, passing on the spotlight. Each person shares their story. Kate had set the stage for what each person should share. Where they were born and raised, what they did before the war, where were they the day the war started, and how they ended up here. My turn soon comes and I get completely nervous that I might say the wrong thing, or worse, Raylene might say the wrong thing. I'm Alexa Brenner and this is Raylene Brenner. I look beside me to Raylene. Miles looks at me and I gain a bit of confidence as he reassures me with a small smile. His look tells me that I'm doing the right thing by introducing Raylene myself. We moved around a lot until we settled here. We were on our way to school on the day of the attack. We were able to find safety at James's house. When the tanks came, we were brought here. Miles takes up the cue immediately, so Raylene won't have a chance to talk. I'm Miles McMillan. I was born in Scotland, but soon after was brought here. Sorry, no accent. I was on my way to Raylene's school on the day of the attack. We went to James's, then we were brought here. James takes up his turn and everyone else continues until we get back to Kate. Brilliant. So I gather most of you know each other already. I must say that you're the largest group we've come across since we started up here. It warms my heart to know that there may be many more groups such as your own. Now we will be starting the exercise. It's a laughing exercise. The rules of it are pretty simple. Just laugh. Everyone join in at once and I will start. I am thoroughly convinced that this woman has gone insane, as the loudest, most annoying laugh I have ever heard comes out of the tiny woman. Raylene is the first person to start giggling, then full out laughing. Increasingly, everyone starts laughing at each other. Not until Taylor starts laughing do I start. She snorts every couple of laughs, and for some reason I find it hilarious. Everyone in the room has gone completely insane with the laughter that fills it. A few minutes of this pass, the officials break the laughter when they come into the room. Kate collects herself. This is a very good session. We will continue this tomorrow. Please, everyone come to class ready to speak about one thing that you love most in the world. A memory, works, a hobby, a person, anything. Now off you go. We don't go too far this time. Down the hall, just 3 classrooms away, we are brought to a room filled with desks, all in a row, and in a pile of clothes and buckets in the front. Please sit down, each person to one desk. Quickly, we filed into the classroom and find a desk. I sit Raylene beside me, and James and Miles take spots directly behind us. I'm Barry. We've nicknamed this class the Greater Good class. We will teach each other skills and come up with ideas to benefit our little community. We will also make things to help this place out. We might also go out as a cleaning team. We pretty much do almost anything in this time slot. As you are all new, we will start this off easily enough. We'll just be doing laundry today. Unfortunately for all of us, there's no washing machines anymore. This means it will all be done by hand and hung to dry. Everyone come up, grab one article of laundry and 1 bar of soap and a pail of water. Barry instructs us how to properly clean the clothes, and we spend a long time while cleaning the pile of laundry as guards watch us. We're taken back to the cafeteria for supper. Variety is obviously going to be a luxury in this place, as it's the same soup mixture as lunch. Tastes a bit different this time, a bit spicier. Throughout the day, everyone has increasingly become quieter and quieter. I don't know whether they have nothing to say to each other or if each person is quiet from the almost forced silence that fills the halls and rooms. Not soon enough, supper is finished and we are off to the community hall. Back inside the gym, everything is cleaned up from earlier and a small crowd of people are lining up in rows facing the mezzanine. A free-for-all seating is allowed. Our group, of course, all sits together. The quiet of the last couple hours must have gotten to me. I'm relieved that this will all seem to at least one point in our day that we will be able to talk to each other in a more or less private situation, at least without any officials nearby. One man dressed in a uniform and medals comes into view at the top of the mezzanine, and everyone falls silent. Welcome to Community Hall. We have survived another day, and what a day it was. We accomplished something that brings great hope to our community. We rescued a large group of people distraught from the attack they had endured from those beasts. People look around to find us, the newcomers, and roar into cheers. The man at the front puts his hands up and quickly hushes the crowd again. What's more is the demons have retreated. We are winning this war. We are defeating the filth who dares to think that they are better than us. Humans are proving to be the most supreme beings to have ever existed. The crowd cheers again. Our group is the only one to remain in silence. An illusion crashes to the ground. We need to escape immediately. They thought that they could come in, take our land, take our homes, take our family, and take our world. They do this for no reason, because they felt like it, because they have proven that they do not deserve to survive as a species from their actions, By the end of this, not one will survive. Their race needs to be exterminated before they infect the whole world. Is this the type of speech we can expect every day at this community gathering? This man is inspiring hope within people, using their anger at losing all they've known to brainwash them into exterminating every supernatural being in this world. I tune out everything else he has to say while looking at each person's face, how they are completely hanging on this man's every word. Everyone's eyes are lit up in their excitement. They believe every word he says. Everyone is so completely far gone at this point that it would be useless to even try to tell everyone the truth. I feel that all it would accomplish is what has happened in all of history. I would be killed for my so-called treason. I look at the faces of all the people from my schedule today. Some seem to be almost buying into what he's saying. Others from James's are disgusted. Raylene's face almost matches those of the people cheering. She doesn't know anything. She's just a child. She doesn't fully understand what this guy is meaning. A final standing ovation from the crowd is my last straw. I don't want to subject her to the propaganda anymore. I don't want to show her that all these people are happy with what this man is saying. There's nothing to cheer for when you're speaking about killing people because of their race. I quickly grab Raylene and take her to the nearest set of guards. Excuse me, we need to go to the washroom. She won't be able to hold it much longer. They look at each other. We don't need an accident on our hands. All right, I'll take you and escort you to your rooms after. Thank you so much. We don't go far. There are washrooms right outside the gym. I take Raylene inside, and both of us go to the bathroom. I turn the handle on the toilet, and it works. I lift her on the counter to wash her hands in the bucket of water while whispering, Sweetheart, I need you to do something for me, and don't listen to Sweetheart, I need you to do something for me, and don't listen to anything anyone here says. They're lying. You need to listen to me, James and Miles. That man is trying to convince people to kill some of our friends because of the way that they were born. That's not right, okay? Do you understand? Her lips turn into a pout. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at these people, okay? She nods her head. I lift her into a hug and don't let her down again. I get her to dry her hands on a towel. We leave the bathroom and get escorted to a room. I know we've been brought to the right one when we see Miles in there. The door shuts behind us and Miles sweeps us both into a big hug. We had thought something happened to you, been relocated or something. That usually is what happens when someone disappears, Tony says. I guess he's in our room. There's no one else I know that's here. Something doesn't sound quite right about the word relocated, so I ask, what do you mean relocated? Tony comes closer. Supposedly, there are places like this all over. Sometimes people are asked to relocate by the officers and are escorted to a new location. Never seen again. I'm glad you weren't disappeared. You should have seen your man. He was frantic with worry. Two other children start to whimper when the lights suddenly go out. Lights out, time for bed. A call comes from the darkness. Miles takes my hand and guides us to our quarters. 2 larger blankets for the 3 of us on a cold floor. We put one under us and one above, placing Raylene in between for the most warmth. She quickly falls asleep, but the same eludes me. My mind won't shut up. My body is restless. Minutes, hours, I can't tell how much time passes before my eyes finally start to feel heavy.